Hey guys, tonight we're going to drift far, far back in time. Tonight, we'll step softly into a world where no cities rise, no roads cut through forests, and no lights flicker but the warm glow of a flickering fire. Close your eyes, settle under your blanket, and let your mind wander back tens of thousands of years, to a time when our ancestors woke under stone ceilings and looked out upon endless wilderness. Imagine it now. The air is crisp, scented with the damp earth and the faint smoke of last night's embers. In the half-darkness of a deep cave, somewhere between towering mountains and sprawling plains, a young woman slowly opens her eyes. Her name is Osha, though no one calls her by name in the way we do today. She is a daughter, a sister, a mother, a keeper of memories, a gatherer of food, and a silent witness to the turning wheel of life. Tonight, you will walk beside Osha through her day, through her thoughts and her labors, through her small moments of joy and the shadows of her fears. As you listen, imagine the warmth of her fire, the softness of animal furs under your fingertips, the crunch of snow under your bare feet if the season is cold, or the sun on your back if it is warm. Let each detail pull you deeper into this ancient world, where every breath is survival, and every heartbeat echoes with the stories of those who came before. A cave awakens. The faint light of dawn creeps into the cave's mouth. Osha feels the warmth of her child pressed against her side, and the soft stirring of her sister's cousins, and mothers who sleep close, a tangle of limbs and shared warmth. She does not wake to an alarm, nor does she stretch for a phone. Her clock is the whisper of the wind outside, the drip of water from the cave roof, the faint stirring of the tribe's elder, who always rises first to tend the embers. Osha slips out from under the rough hide that covers her and sits up, combing her hair with her fingers, pulling free bits of moss and the stray feathers that line their bedding. Her mind is already busy. Is there enough dry wood? What food is left from yesterday's find? Did the hunters return with meat, or will she and the other women need to forage farther than usual? She stands and pads over to the fire, just glowing. Coals now, shrouded in ash. She takes a bundle of dry grass, cups it gently, and coaxes the coals to catch. A faint glow, then a flicker, then a spark. Soon, the small flame crackles to life. Fire is life. Without it, they have no warmth, no cooked meat, no safety from the night's PRO. As the fire grows stronger, Osha feels its heat on her face, and her mind drifts to the stories her grandmother told her, tales of how, long ago, a woman not unlike her first held fire in a hollowed-out branch, carrying it from a lightning-struck tree back to her people. That woman, they say, had a name that lives on in every hearth's flame. The morning tasks around the fire. Other women stir awake. There is no idle chatter as we know it. Words are few, gestures are plenty. They work quietly, the older ones, showing the young how to twist dried roots into cord, how to tend to burns if a child strays too close to the flame. A young girl giggles as she pokes at the fire's edge with a stick. Her mother gently swats her hand away and shows her how to feed it with care, not recklessness. Osha's mind turns to the day's plan. The tribe's hunters are away, tracking herds they hope to bring down before the moon is full again. But the people cannot live on meat alone. Women's hands keep bellies full when arrows come back empty. This is a truth known by all. Osha and 3 other women will travel to a stretch of forest they know well. There, by a stream, grows a tangle of plants, broad-leafed greens, tubers hidden under the soil, bright berries that burst with tartness when the season is right. Before they leave, Osha checks on the children. Her own son is half awake, thumb in mouth, dark hair sticking to his cheek. She presses a kiss to his forehead. There are no goodbyes, only the understanding that mothers always return. The elders will watch the little ones, keeping them busy with stories, songs, and the careful practice of small skills. How to strike flint, how to braid grass, how to listen for the footsteps of the wolves that sometimes come too near. Into the wild outside the cave. The world opens wide and wild. There are no fences, no straight lines. There is only the earth beneath calloused feet, the sky overhead, and the whisper of trees swaying in a language older than words. Osha walks at the front, her sharp eyes scanning for signs, broken twigs, fresh animal tracks, droppings that tell her whether a rabbit or a deer passed through. She carries a digging stick, smoothed by years of use, and a basket woven from reeds and bark strips. The other women follow her lead, stepping softly, voices hushed so as not to scare away the world's secrets. They pause now and then to pick a leaf, crush it between their fingers, and sniff. Edible or dangerous, healing or deadly. Osha knows them all. She learned from watching her mother's hands, who learned from watching her grandmother's, who learned from women whose names live only in memory and bone. When they reach the stream, they crouch and drink deeply, cupping water in their palms. Dragonflies dart above the ripples, and tiny fish flash silver beneath the surface. Here, they spread out, eyes low, fingers quick. Osha kneels at the base of an old tree, where she knows wild onions hide beneath the soil. She works the digging stick gently, loosening the earth until the bulbs come free, sharp, pungent, perfect for mixing into stews or eating raw when hunger gnaws hard. The communal bond as they gather. The women hum softly, not quite songs, but not silence either. Sound keeps the mind focused, reminds the world they are there, part of its breath and pulse. Now and then, they call to each other, a gesture to warn of thorny brambles, a nod toward a patch of mushrooms hidden in the moss. One woman shows Osha a handful of berries, plump and red. Osha frowns, plucks one, and crushes it between her teeth. She spits it out immediately. No good, her eyes say. Too bitter, too risky. The woman nods, tosses them aside, lesson learned without a word. They pause under the sun, which now stands higher in the sky. The baskets are heavier, their shoulders ache, but their minds are calm. Here in this work, they are teachers and students, mothers and sisters, bound by an unspoken trust that stretches far back in time. No one here claims to own the knowledge. It belongs to all of them, and to those who will come next. An unexpected encounter as they prepare to return. Osha hears a sound, a rustle, a low grunt. Her body stills, senses sharp. The other women freeze too. From the edge of the clearing, a boar emerges, snout to the ground, tusks glinting. It does not see them yet, but it might. A boar can feed many mouths, but without spears or nets, they cannot risk it. Osha gestures for the others to stay low. They press against the undergrowth, hearts drumming. The boar sniffs, snorts, then moves on. When it disappears into the brush, the women exhale as one. They share a quick glance, a silent laugh of relief. Danger faced, danger past. The wilderness always watches. It tests them, reminds them they are guests, not masters. Returning home with baskets full and shadows growing long, they turn back toward the cave. On the way, they stop to gather dry twigs and fallen branches. The fire must never die. The path is familiar, but never safe. They walk close, eyes always searching. When they reach the cave, they are greeted with small cheers. Children tug at their baskets, eager for a taste of what they have brought. Elders nod approval, satisfied that the fire will burn bright another night, that hunger will not gnaw so fiercely. Osha sits by the fire again. She shares her portion with her son, who grins wide as he chews a sweet root. Nearby, another woman crushes herbs for a poultice, tending to a man's bruised arm, an old hunter, weary from his journeys. They do not speak much, but when they do, their voices are soft, woven with care. The night's rituals as dusk wraps the cave in shadows. Osha's people gather close to the flames. Someone begins a low chant, a hum that becomes a song that becomes a dance. Children clap their hands on fur-covered knees. Women sway side to side, hair brushing shoulders, feet tapping out rhythms, older than words. This is how they remember. Stories flicker in the firelight, tales of spirits who guide the hunt, of ancestors who whisper warnings in dreams, of a woman who, like Osha, rose each day to tend the flame and gather what the earth would give. Osha watches the sparks drift upward, carrying their warmth into the night sky. She feels the soft weight of her son's head on her lap, the beat of the drums echoing her own heartbeat. She knows tomorrow will bring the same trials, hunger, cold, the long walk, the careful gathering. But tonight, wrapped in fur and firelight, she lets her eyelids fall. Asterisk morning comes again, quiet but urgent. The chill seeps in from the cave's entrance, touching sleeping skins and bare shoulders. Osha wakes to the soft sounds of the tribe. A child coughing, someone shifting stones at the fire's edge to catch a better flame. A quiet murmur of voices planning the day. Today brings new tasks. The hunters have returned, but the catch was small. A single deer, leaned from winter's touch. Its hide is spread near the fire to dry, its meat hung in strips to smoke. But this alone will not last long, so Osha and her companions prepare for another day of gathering, this time venturing farther than before.